Picture this. You're at a family dinner, you mention you're still renting, and someone at the table, your dad, your uncle, your older cousin who bought in 2018, says it. You know you're just throwing money away, right? You need to buy as soon as you can, and you don't push back, because the honest answer in your head is, yeah, probably. Think about what renting actually is. Every month you hand over $2,000, and 12 months later, you have nothing to show for it. No equity, no asset. The landlord's mortgage gets paid down, and yours doesn't exist. Meanwhile, your coworker who bought 2 years ago just watched his place go up $80,000 in value while he slept. That's not throwing money away. That's building something, and you're not doing it. I ran the actual numbers for a 25-year-old on a real salary in a real city right now. The gap I found wasn't what I expected. It was over $300,000, and it goes in the opposite direction from everything you just heard. Here's the scenario. You're 25, earning $65,000 a year, which is above the median income for people under 30. You've saved $30,000. That took real discipline. Now you want to put it to work. You start looking at houses in Denver, Austin, Charlotte, any city where young professionals are actually moving. Median home price in those markets right now, around $450,000. Not a mansion, a 2-bedroom in a normal neighborhood. Standard advice says, put 20% down to avoid private mortgage insurance. 20% of $450,000 is $90,000. You have $30,000. You're already $60,000 short before you've called a single real estate agent. So you go in with 5% down instead, $22,500. You can technically swing it. But now you're paying PMI, roughly $175 a month, just as a fee for not having enough money to buy the house properly. It doesn't touch your principal. It's just gone. Now here's the full monthly number. You're borrowing $427,500 at 7%. Principal and interest, $2,845. Property taxes on a $450,000 home, $450 a month. Homeowner's insurance, $150. PMI, $175, $3,620 a month every month before you've fixed a single thing that breaks. Your take-home pay on $65,000 after taxes is roughly $4,200 a month. Your housing just consumed 86% of it. The rule that's been around forever says housing should be 28 to 30% of gross income. To own this house comfortably by that standard, you'd need to earn $130,000 a year. You're making half that. Here's the question nobody actually asks out loud. What happens to the person who rents instead? A 2-bedroom apartment in those same cities runs about $2,000 a month. That's $1,620 cheaper than owning every single month. Most people stop here and think, okay, but the homeowner is building equity. So let's follow both people for 10 years and find out what actually happens. The home appreciates at 3 to 4% annually, the historical average. After 10 years, that $450,000 home is worth roughly $625,000, a gain of $175,000. That's real. But now, we add everything ownership actually costs, because this is the part nobody shows you. Closing costs to buy, up to $22,500 on day one before a single mortgage payment. Property taxes over 10 years, $54,000. Homeowner's insurance, $18,000. Maintenance, and this is the one that gets people, averages 1 to 2% of your home's value per year. On a $450,000 home, that's up to $9,000 a year. Roof, HVAC, plumbing, the things that break when you can least afford it. Over 10 years, $55,000 minimum. PMI, until you hit 20% equity. Another $8,000. That $175,000 gain in home value almost entirely disappears into costs. Then you sell, pay a 5 to 6% agent commission on a $625,000 home, another $37,500, and your real net gain from a decade of home ownership lands somewhere between $10,000 and $30,000. Now, let's follow the renter. Every month, instead of sending $1,620 extra to a mortgage, you invest it, and that $30,000 you didn't lock into a down payment goes into a broad index fund on day one. The stock market has returned about 10% annually over the long run. Adjusted for inflation, 7% is conservative. Your $30,000 initial investment at 7% over 10 years, $59,000. Your $1,620 monthly contribution over 10 years at 7%, $281,000. The renter has $340,000. The homeowner has $10,000 to $30,000 in real equity. And here's what no finance channel will actually say to your face. The "you're throwing money away on rent" advice was written by people who bought at 3.5% rates when median home prices were half what they are now, and when a $65,000 salary could actually cover a mortgage without eating your entire life. That world is gone. The advice stayed. Here's my verdict. For most people in their 20s, in most major cities right now, buying as fast as possible isn't wealth building. It's a cash flow trap that looks like responsibility from the outside. That doesn't mean never buy. It means the math has to work for your actual life, not for a market that existed a decade ago. The price-to-rent ratio is the number to check first. Take the median home price in your city, divide it by the annual rent for an equivalent place. Most major metros right now sit between 25 and 35. Above 20, renting and investing the difference almost always wins. Below 15, buying starts making real sense. One calculation more honest than any advice your parents ever gave you. Your timeline matters almost as much. The math only flips for the buyer once you plan to stay for 7 to 10 years minimum, because that's how long it takes appreciation to outrun transaction costs. If there's any real chance you'll move for a job, a relationship, or just because you haven't figured out where you actually want to live yet, buying is a financial anchor, not a foundation. And if you're going to rent, the whole argument only holds if you invest the difference. Renting and spending that $1,620 a month on lifestyle doesn't make you wealthy. It just makes you someone who doesn't own a house. The money has to go somewhere that compounds. If you want to see how the rent versus buy decision fits into your whole financial picture, the complete money guide for your 20s is in the description. It covers everything: budgeting, investing, debt, credit, building real wealth from zero. Free. Link below. See you in the next one.